Hi Year 6 and welcome to Thursday's maths lesson. Today we are going to round off some of the work that we've been doing on fractions this week. So we've learnt to add and subtract different fractions and we've looked at mixed numbers and improper fractions. Today we are going to look at solving problems, okay? So if you found this week's learning really tricky, you might just want to use the sheet today on the website that's called Practicing Adding and Subtracting. It will be practicing more of the things that we've learnt this week, and you can always refer to my video lessons from the other days this week. This lesson is going to be a little bit trickier and it's going to be about solving problems. So I'm going to talk you through 3 different problems and then you're going to go off and choose your difficulty level. So, like I say, if you were finding things a bit tricky with the adding and subtracting, you might want to download the practice sheet and just do that for today. If not, follow on and I will explain through a couple of problems. So, the first kind of problem that I want to talk about is this part-whole model. Now, we've seen these lots before. We've used them in addition and subtraction with whole numbers, and they feature in a lot of our maths learning. Okay, I just wanted to remind you how they work before you might see one in today's learning. So the big circle is the whole and any smaller circles are the parts. Sometimes you might see a part-whole model that's got more than 2 parts. It might be a bit more complex. This is the most basic kind of part-whole. So this part and this part will add together to total this part. So how do you calculate the missing part? If you feel like you can go ahead, then pause me here and have a go. I'm going to explain now. Okay, so to find out a missing part, you would have to do the whole, take away the part that you have already. So we would be doing the calculation 4.5 take away 2.25. Okay, that's how we solve the problem. And then it just comes to simply calculating it. So we're going to have to use everything that we've learned this week. First, because they're mixed numbers, first I have to convert to an improper fraction. Now, if you remember from yesterday, to convert it to an improper fraction, you need to see how many halves in this case you've got. So I've got 4 wholes. 4 times 2, because there's 2 halves in one whole. 4 wholes would be 8 halves, and the one you already had. So 9 halves. Take away 2 times 4 is 8. So there's 8 quarters in 2 wholes and 1 9 quarters. That's step 1. Now, I still need to make the denominators the same. I'm looking for my common denominator. I've got 2 and 4. A number that's in both of those times tables, that's a multiple of both, is 4. So that means that my 9 quarters, sorry, I'm writing this a bit wonky and it's not really ideal. I'll write the next one in more of a straight line. 9 quarters can stay as it is. And 9 halves needs to get changed to quarters. So my 2 will be multiplied by 2 to get the 4, and then I'll have to do the same to the top. So 9 multiplied by 2 is 18, which gives me 9 over 4. Now to put my answer into my part-whole model, I will need to convert that back to a mixed number. So if I've got 9 quarters, 4 would make up the whole. So I'm going to have 2 wholes, which would be 8, and 1 quarter left over. So 2.25 would be your answer there. So well done if that's what you got. Let's have a look at a slightly different problem. Okay. Have a read of this alongside me. It says, Calvin is thinking of a fraction. When you add 3 2/6 to my fraction, the answer is 8 4/9. What fraction is Calvin thinking of? Pause the video and tell me how you would solve the problem. What steps would you take? What calculation would you have to do? If you can solve it as well, then do. That would be brilliant, and come back and hear how I've solved it. So let's work through it together. I'm going to write it out as I read it. So it says, when you add 3 2/6 to my fraction, the answer is 8 4/9. So let's think how that would write it out. So when I add 3 2/6 to the number, so let's make this missing box my number, the answer is 8 4/9. So that's a way of writing it out. Something, add 3 2/6 equals 8 4/9. How am I going to work that out? Like any missing number problem, I'm going to do the inverse. So this number is missing. So therefore I need to do the inverse and do take away. 8 4/9 take away 3 2/6. So I have written that out here. The first thing that I have to do is make it an improper fraction. So again, 8 wholes. So 8 lots of 9 is 72. Add 4 more is 76. 3 lots of 6 is 18. Add 2 is 20. Now, I can't just do that calculation because they don't have the same denominator. If I'm finding a common denominator for 9 and 6, what number is in my 6 times table and in my 9? 18. So I'll put 18 as the common denominator. And then work out how I'm going to convert. I can put 18 at the bottom of my answer as well. If I'm converting from 9, I'm timesing by 2. 9 times 2 is 18, same to the top. 76 times 2 is 152. My mental calculations are correct. To convert this one, 6 times 3 is 18, so 20 times 3 is 60. 152 take away 60 is 92. And then I'm going to have to work out what that is as a mixed number. Okay, I'm going to need my 18 times table. So there it is, my 18 times table. And I can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lots of 18 and 90, 5 wholes would make 90, and then I've got 2 more, so 5 and 2/18, which can simplify down to 1/9. So 5 and 1/9 being my answer. Well done if you got that right. Let's have a look at one last problem before you go and have a go. Oh, it's slipped off my screen a little bit. Let's move it back in. Fab. So follow this with me. Ranulph is reading a book. On Monday, he reads 1 2/9 chapters. And on Wednesday, he reads 2 1/4 chapters. How many chapters has he read altogether? Pause me now to think about what calculation you need, set it up, and if you're able to, work it out, then come back and see the explanation. Okay, fab. Let's set it out then. Let's think what calculation that we need to do. I've got a clue word in the question of altogether. Altogether means I'm adding and bringing things together. So I've got Monday's chapters, 1 2/9, and I've got Wednesday's chapters, 2 1/4. And I'm going to add them together. Now I need to follow the exact same method that I've done before. So make it a improper fraction first of all, and then find the common denominators to add. So 1 whole is 9/9, add the 2 is 11/9. 2 wholes would be 8 quarters, add the 1 is 9 quarters. Now I've got 9 and 4, so I'm thinking of a denominator that I can use for both. What's in both times tables? And I'm thinking of 36. So make them both into 36. 9 times 4 is 36, so I times 11 by 4. 44 over 36. Then 4 times 9 is 36. And 9 times 9 is 81. So I have got 44, add 81, which is 125. Again, relying on my calculation skills. If we were in school, I'm sure somebody would shout out that that was wrong. Hopefully it's not today. 125 over 36. And our next step then is to find out what that looks like as a mixed number. And I need to get my 36 times table. So now I've got my 36 times table lined up here. I can see that 125, 36 is 1, 2, 3 wholes. And then it would leave 17, 36 remainder. So I'm essentially just, it's like when we did long division, and we have to go through our times tables and find out how many we've got and how many we've got left over. It's exactly the same. So fractions is just a big combination of times table knowledge, multiplication and division knowledge. That's all. So 3 and 17, 36, that's my answer. And how many chapters has he read altogether? That is the answer. So well done if you got that. I'm going to leave you now to go and choose your independent activity. As always, there's an easier one, a harder one, a challenge one. And like I've said before, if you've watched all of this and you're still feeling confused or you're feeling even more confused, there's a sheet where you can just go and practice adding and subtracting. No word problems, no problems to decipher at all. Please email me if you've got any problems whatsoever, and I will do my best to help you with that. Have a go at it, and I'd love to see how you get on. Thanks for joining the lesson.